something in our lives, a feeling deep within our hearts, a voice or whisper that says, this is who you are, this is where you're meant to go. Some of us, we embrace that feeling, we accept that invitation, we take that risk. But many of us, what do? We bury it. We tell ourselves it's stupid, we tell ourselves it's irrational, we tell ourselves maybe we'll be judged if we try. And so what do? We push that feeling down deeper and deeper. Until one day we wake up in our 40s or our 50s and we ask ourselves, what exactly happened with my life? Now, I'm not in my 40s or 50s yet. I haven't reached midlife. But I've seen the case studies. I've seen the endless walking examples. Broken hearts, broken dreams, broken souls. The world is kind of a graveyard of potential. Most people's dreams die before they even reach 30. And it's not to say that life is as simple as following your dreams. Absolutely not. This is one of the most difficult paths a human being can take. But ask yourself this question. Do you feel rewarded by an easy and comfortable life? Because I know that I don't. So, the world can be a graveyard, but here's the good news. You don't have to be one of them. Over the next 16 minutes or so, I'm going to describe what that feeling is. I'm going to teach you not only how to leverage it as an asset, but how to use it as a gift. And why it's far more impactful, more insightful, and more reliable than any other piece of external advice you could ever receive. But first, I would like to share my story. If you can bear with me, I'm going to share my story. I was born in South Africa, which is a place of stunning beauty, but also a place of contrast, a place of suffering. It's where my foundation was laid, but not where my story would stay. When I was a young teenager, I immigrated to America with my family, Southern California, and eventually got my American citizenship. To a kid from the other side of the world, America seemed like the promised land, the land of opportunity. I saw the palm trees, the highways, the endless possibilities. I thought to myself, wow, this is it. This is the American dream. But over time, I started to see through the cracks. I realized why they call it the American dream. They call it the American dream because you literally have to be asleep to believe it. And I'm not here to bash America. I'm just simply pointing out what many of us feel. The cost of living is insane. Most people stuck working dead-end jobs with little pay increases, tied to a mortgage for 30 to 40 years, paying interest. And that's if you're lucky. Don't even get me started on the price of healthcare. Don't even get me started on the cost of student debt. It's a blood stake. A blood stake. So I knew if I kept playing that game, I would end up trapped, like just another cog in the machine. In my mind, I only had one option, because I could already see what staying behind meant. Friends, once full of fire, had settled into a script that wasn't truly theirs. Dreams buried before the age of 25. Next slide. I knew that I had to soak up experience. If I failed, at least I would have some cool stories to tell. And I knew in order to beat this almost unbeatable game, this inescapable rat race, I would have to build a business. And I would have to play a different game and somewhere else. I kept coming back to a place I had always dreamed of going to. I was very young at the time, and it made perfect sense to me. That place was Bali. No plans, no safety net, just a suitcase and my intuition. To most people, it looked reckless, and perhaps it was. But to me, it was necessary. It was my leap into the unknown. My declaration that I refuse to live on autopilot. And I'll be honest, it was terrifying. I was inexperienced, broke, and alone. Some nights I thought to myself, I can't even pay rent. Some nights I thought to myself, this is it. I failed. But every time I hit rock bottom, something appeared. A client, a customer, an opportunity, sometimes at the very last moment. Almost as if the universe was whispering to me, keep going. And that's when I realized that nature rewards courage. Sometimes when you take that leap of faith, it seems so scary until you actually do it. Once you do it, you'll be surprised at how safely you land on your feet. Again and again, I failed. Again and again, I thought it was over. And again, just when I was ready to quit, a new door opened. Not always the one that I expected, but always the one that I needed. And once you live like that, you can never go back to living small. You can never go back to living safe. Because you quickly realize that illusions are not real, experience is everything, and you can, in fact, sculpt your own reality. So, what is the main idea of my speech today? Why am I here? What is the message that I'm trying to convey? The message I'm trying to convey is to embrace your intuition. That feeling inside, that whisper, that's the gift. That's what it's all about. And keep in mind, I don't want to give anyone the wrong impression. This is one of the most difficult roads that you can take as a human being. But at the very least, there's no what ifs at the end of your life. This is honestly the only road. The only one that you should take. And it doesn't matter if you're agnostic and you don't believe in the concept of God, or you're atheist, or maybe you're religious and you do believe in the concept of God. It doesn't matter what school of thoughts you come from, everyone recognizes it. That feeling inside. That's the gift. And keep in mind, this is real life. This is not a movie, guys. This is not a fantasy. You will fail. It is guaranteed. But it's not the fact that you failed. It's the fact that you actually tried. Next slide. You actually tried to do something different with your life. That's what it's all about. Most people, they don't even try. They don't even try to take that first step. Next slide. Next slide. So the question is, why don't people try? Why don't they take that first step? Perhaps we listen to other people's projections and we take it as our own. We internalize what's happening. We internalize what's happening on the external. We listen to their judgment, their doubt, their insecurities, and we take it as our own. Intuition is kind of like driving a car at nighttime. You don't need to know about the turn that happens 10 miles down the road. You just need to know about the next turn. Because if you miss that next turn, you might crash into a tree. And intuition is literally no different. You don't need to know what happens 10 steps ahead. You don't need to know what happens in the future. But you should at least try to take that first step. That is what intuition is all about. Next slide. So here's the cost of not embracing your intuition. The grim reality is you will certainly feel regret. It is almost guaranteed. Life on this planet is short. It is not long. Perhaps you might wake up one day in a job that you hate, surrounded by people that you don't get along with, in a place you don't like, and you think to yourself, I feel trapped. And even though the universe and the world hands out opportunities all the time, There's always new opportunities coming. Eventually, you will have settled into your ways, and you would have missed your chance. Next slide. But here's the reward of embracing your intuition. Number one, you are guaranteed freedom. Every single human being on this planet is in search of some type of freedom. Now, you can be a slave for part of your journey. That's normal for everyone. But to be a slave your entire life for a cause that does not benefit you is a tragedy. And even though this journey is painful, you will grow as a human being. You will go through growing pains. You will learn the necessary wisdom and insight that will help propel you forward in life. That wisdom and insight will be incredibly valuable. Next slide. So you've heard my story, and I just want to make something clear. This isn't about me, it's about you. It's not about what I say. It's not about what your parents say. It's not about what society expects as safe. It's not about your friends who laugh at you when you dream out loud. It's about you. What choices you make when the outcome isn't guaranteed. How you handle adversity. No one else can walk this road for you but you. Next slide. So I want to give you some supporting lessons that I learned along the way. Number one, intuition is a muscle. The less that you use it, the more that you lose it. You can be 50 years old and you can go to the gym. You can exercise your muscles, right? The opportunity to use it will always be there. But it's much more difficult to do that when you're 50 than, let's say, if you're 20. And intuition is literally no different. Next slide. And lesson number two, advice is mostly useless. People can help guide you, they can inspire you, but to imitate their journey, their destiny in life, is doing a great disservice to yourself. Once again, they can help guide you, they can inspire you, but don't imitate anyone else's advice. Everyone is catered uniquely. And lesson number three, depend on yourself more. The world is noisy, distracting, news, politics, drama, gossip. It's really just never ending. If you constantly pay attention to that external noise, you will never understand yourself and you will never understand your true destiny in life. It's like being at a football game, right? It's extremely noisy. All you hear is chanting, screaming. Ask yourself, in that moment, can you even hear your own thoughts? The answer is probably no. And it's literally no different with intuition. If you're constantly surrounded by people and you never take the time to depend on yourself, you will never understand your true destiny. Next slide. So let me leave you with this. Don't bury that feeling. Don't silence it. Don't wake up decades later wondering where your life went. That's your compass. You don't have to be another broken dream. You don't have to be one of the walking dead. For example, this very speech that I'm doing right now is a byproduct of my intuition. One stepping stone led to another, and now I'm here. And I'm extremely grateful that I'm here. But do you see what I'm saying now? It doesn't have to be perfect, and perhaps it didn't connect with some of you in the audience, but that doesn't matter. It's the fact that you tried. You tried to take that first step. You tried to take action. Most people, once again, they don't even try. They ignore that feeling. They follow the script, and then they wake up decades later wondering what happened. That voice, it is not imagination. It is fire. It is direction. It is probably the life that you were meant to live. So just try. I'm not saying this is all black and white. You have to experience it for yourself. But just try embracing your intuition. Thank you.